Let's dive a little deeper into walking the bass on the piano. First, let's talk what I call the 1-5-1. It's where you play the root of the chord, the 5 of the chord, and then the root an octave up. And any combination works, just as long as you're going from the 1 to the 5 to the 1. Now, if you were to play both of these notes together on a real bass, that would be called a power chord on a guitar. What's so special about a power chord is it doesn't have a major or a minor third. It's ambiguous. It can be whatever you want it to be. 5 is just acting as extra depth to the 1, but it's not really doing anything functionally different. Because the 5 is in the overtone series really close, so it's in every note, but that's besides the point. Anyways, anytime you're playing almost any chord unless it has an altered 5, you're more than welcome to always play the 5 in your walking bass. That's where you get that boom chuck pattern I talked about last time. 1-5-1, just different octave, same thing. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk one of the biggest concepts in not just walking bass, but also in soloing with your right hand, and also with just music in general. This concept is about cliches. A cliche could be any number of things. Melody, a chord progression, a certain melody note you're playing over a certain chord, a rhythm, and it's just one set of things that appears as a cliche in a bunch of kinds of Western music. One example is called a line cliche. Similarly, the James Bond cliche. It's almost like a quote of just pop culture and music. But so when walking bass, there's a whole number of cliches that you could do and build sections of your bass walking around. Prime example would be the ending of a lot of jazz songs. I'm sure everyone's heard that one. Some cliches are less specific, but the main vibe of it is a cliche. So one example would be basically you're outlining a C7 chord with this bluesy minor third in there. Same shape, move it up to the 4th. That's another sort of cliche. As I mentioned, this happens in chords as well. So if you really want to walk bass, you actually have to have a pretty good understanding of how chords work and what's going on with them. Because the other tip with walking bass is that, yes, most of the time it'll just be sort of a quarter note pattern with passing notes, scale movement with passing notes. But in between all of that stuff as your bass line, pun intended, treating walking bass as a solo instrument just in the lower register can really elevate your bass playing. So now when it comes to that, you basically will apply most of the same stuff that you apply when you're talking about soloing with your right hand. Implied harmony with melody. Meaning the melody notes that you play are outlining a certain chord or a certain harmony. Voice leading, prioritizing what octave the note you're playing in based on the previous and the next note of the melody that you have, that it all feels like a seamless transition. And this could really come to bite you in the ass when you're playing bass, because you might be walking, doing something, the next chord you have to hit is super far away. So then some of the voice leading can apply sometimes, especially if you're playing in the higher register. Be like, okay, if I'm going for this E flat, I need to go to a G instead of going all the way down here, I'll do up here. And melodic motifs, just lower in the register.